The most widely publicized missing child mysteries in American history has ended with a murder conviction.
It's been almost 38 years since Patz suddenly disappeared from a street in Soho. Now in his second trial, jurors found Pedro Hernandez guilty of murdering and kidnapping.
TV 1055's Tony Aiello is live in Soho with more on today's conviction. Tony?
Alice, this is the corner of Prince Street and West Broadway. This building used to be a deli. Pedro Hernandez told police in 1979 he lured Patz into the basement with the promise of a soda, strangled the boy, put his tiny body in a box, and put it out in the trash. 11 jurors believed that confession at the 2015 trial. This time around, the verdict was unanimous. He was loving and trusting and cute as could be. Images of Eitan taken by a man who has waited nearly 38 years for this day.
But we finally have found some measure of justice for our wonderful little boy, Eitan.
Stan Patz said the overwhelming emotion was relief after a jury convicted Pedro Hernandez of killing little Eitan in the spring of 1979.
We approached it logically and compassionately.
Jurors in the retrial deliberated over 9 days. One called their discussions
analytical and creative and adaptive and compassionate and ultimately kind of heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking, a word that sums up so much about the Patz case. Eitan vanished in Soho on the very first day he was allowed to walk by himself to the bus stop.
We think an adult could have convinced him to come with him.
Back then, Stan and Julie Patz never suspected Pedro Hernandez, who was 18 and working at this corner deli. Over the years, suspicion fell on sex offender Jose Ramos, and briefly in 2012 on local handyman Othniel Miller. That year, investigators dug up a Soho basement to search for clues. News coverage prompted a Hernandez relative to contact police to say Hernandez told multiple people he'd killed a child in New York. Hernandez told cops the child was Eitan.
It's like I felt like something just took over me, and I just choked him.
There was a lot of questions early in the deliberation process about the credibility of those or reliability of those confessions.
They seemed very honest. The emotion was real.
At her home in South Jersey, Hernandez's wife, Rosemary, refused comment. His defense attorney promises an appeal.
I hate to say it, but we're confident we'll be back here someday.
For Stan Patz, it's today that matters.
I am truly relieved, and I'll tell you, it's about time. It really is. It's about time.
There is a small memorial here at the scene. One note calls Eitan the Prince of Prince Street. Between the two trials, 23 of 24 jurors voted to convict. That is a major accomplishment for the NYPD investigators and the prosecution team in the office of District Attorney Cyrus Vance. Live in Soho, Tony Aiello, TV 1055.